7 pounds, 8 ounces, 451. Oh, it's like 2. Hi guys, so today's vlog is going to be a little bit different. By the time you guys see this, it will be Joshua's birthday, and you know, obviously on my son's birthday I want to spend as much time as possible like with him and not, you know, behind a computer editing, even if it is only like an hour or so. But instead of doing a vlog, today's video is going to be Joshua's birth story. I thought that it would be kind of appropriate. A lot of you guys have asked me for this, and so I figured why not let the cat out of the bag and tell you guys what happened. So let's rewind a little bit. I'm going to take you all the way back to January 13th, 2010. That is the day that I found out I was getting induced. But to start this story, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys just a little bit of info on what led me up to this point. Michael had enlisted the end of my senior year, and wasn't planning on going. You know, between him talking and the recruiter talking, the plan was he was going to enlist, and then they just really had no need for him for maybe about 6 months to a year. That was the plan. It seemed to go great. By that time I would have been graduated, and wherever the wind blew us is where we would have gone. About a month after enlisting, the recruiter called him and said, "Get ready to go, you are leaving in 2 weeks." So of course I was already living with him, not done with my senior year. He was getting ready to go. We had to make all the necessary arrangements. So when you go into boot camp, I'm sure you guys would expect what I'm about to tell you, but they basically cut you off from the entire world. It's just you and your TI and whoever else is like there with you. So when I found out I was pregnant, I couldn't like call up my fiance at the time. I couldn't call him up and be like, "Hey baby, guess what?" You know, so I had to tell him in a letter, and that's how he found out. And you know, I don't know, I wasn't there with him, but I would assume that he was like happy.
Yes,
yeah,
very happy.
he was very happy. So by the time Michael ended up finishing his, you know, his boot camp, his training, his active duty training type thing, he got back when I was 8.5 months pregnant. He left and I was a size 3, came back and I was like, holy Jesus, had 3 million Taco Bells throughout my pregnancy. All of that, fast forward back to January 13th, 2010. I was 18 years old and 70 pounds heavier and let's see, 2 weeks overdue, in fact. My doctor was very actually concerned, because if you guys don't know this by now, I'm 4'10", very short, practically a Smurf. And so because of how much weight I had gained and because of how small I was, my doctor was concerned that if the baby were to get any bigger, if I were to continue with the pregnancy, that Joshua would have been too big and I wouldn't have been able to push him out, and he was scared that I would end up needing a C-section. For most women, the news of being induced is either a godsend or the worst information you've ever heard in your entire life. By that time, I mean, it was my first pregnancy. I didn't really know what I was doing throughout my pregnancy, really. I was just completely clueless. And so at that point, I had already gone into the hospital 3 other times with false labor. After going into the hospital so many times with false labor, I was very excited to be like, okay, this time I'm going to the hospital, and when I come back I am having a baby. That night Michael and I went on our last date. We went to Sizzler, and I don't quite remember what I ate. I just remember just talking with him for a long time about, you know, how our life was going to change and how we, you know, we did a lot of talking that night. So the next morning I went to KMC. They're in Bakersfield, California, Kern Medical Center. It's on the east side of Bakersfield, if you guys are maybe familiar with that area. Fun fact, that was actually the same hospital that I was born at, and that, I believe, for my mom was a bit of a traumatizing experience, but that's a whole different story. 6 a.m. on January 14th. I wake up and I take a shower and shave my legs because I was being considerate of the doctor. Very, very considerate. Shaved my legs, shaved my cha-cha, everything was good to go. The doctor had, all he needed to do was just like forceps, here you go. Put some Crisco in there, just something, get this baby out of me. See, we get there and my dad is already there in the waiting room just waiting. Everybody's kind of anxious. I don't think anybody else in my family that I like immediately know had been induced at that point. So it was very, very just uncommon territory for all of us. I remember filling out all of my paperwork, and then I got told that, okay, go into this room, you're gonna change, and then you're going to be taken to another room. So that was great. Michael, you know, picks up the bag, gets ready to go, and the nurse is like, no, 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 you can't go in there with her. You have to stay here. We'll call you when I'm ready for you. What? Right away, just boom, 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 hyperventilating, like super nervous. I'm just like, I do not want to have this baby by myself. They didn't really tell me about anything that was going to be going on. They just told me that I needed to go into this different room. So I did go into this different room and change, get onto the bed, and then they wheeled me off into this separate room. And there were like 3 other ladies in there with me, all, I guess, waiting for a labor room. I'm pretty sure that that's what was happening. My doctor came in, and he wasn't my actual OBGYN that I had been going to all this time, but he just was some guy that I had never met in my entire life. Seemed really, really nice at first, and then, you know, I'm sure that he was just doing his job. Not my favorite person I've ever met, I will say that much. He was like, hey, how are you doing? They hooked me up to an IV, and then he says, okay, I'm gonna check you for dilation. Cool, I think I'm dilated to 3. That's where I was at a couple nights ago when I had gone in with false labor. He checked me, and I had been checked 3 other times by that point, so I knew what it would feel like. But for whatever reason, I was in a lot of pain. I remember immediately crying and feeling as if I had been taken advantage of at that point. Little did I know that he wasn't checking me to see where I was dilated. He was sweeping my membranes and didn't tell me. After about an hour and a half, I was wheeled off finally to my labor and delivery room. And when I got there, my mom, my grandma, my dad, and Michael were all there waiting for me, like the true soldiers that they are.
Oh my God, are you posing?
No, I'm actually just
Strike the pose, you need to strike the pose. And there's the granddaddy.
This is her nurse. She's doing a fantastic job.
After that, I met my nurse that was going to be taking care of me. I believe her name, I don't remember what her name was, but she wasn't the nicest girl. I remember that she was pretty, and the only reason I remember that she was pretty is because my dad was hitting on her. Now, while that might piss most people off, it's just kind of my family dynamic, and it was really funny. So yeah, after being in the room and having a good time, we're all laughing. They hooked me up to the monitor, tracked my contractions, and they're like, you're already dilated to 3, and you know, it seems like you're in pretty good labor already. Great, that's awesome. I don't really feel anything at all. Feels like I'm going to the circus. So they hooked me up to the Pitocin, and that is when everything changed. I don't quite remember when the pain started. I just remember it going from 0 to about 1,000, and in some point. I'm not sure if I fell asleep. I'm not sure if I just was so occupied with everything else. I just remember being completely fine and then bawling my eyes out. I think that because I was so uneducated during my labor experience with Joshua, that I was just almost embarrassed. You know, my mom had told me that she's done it all natural. Michael's mom is like having babies in her toilet, like, you know, my grandma had babies all natural, so I was just like, okay, so this is the thing that I need to do. Of course, none of them had probably been induced as far as my knowledge goes. When it got to the point that I could not handle the pain anymore, I remember crying to my mom, crying to my grandma, crying to Michael, saying, I'm sorry, I feel like a failure because I can't have these babies, you know, without some sort of assistance. Now, keep in mind when you're induced, apparently, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but apparently it hurts a whole lot more than a regular pregnancy. When you think about it this way, when you're pregnant and you are going to have your baby and you go into labor naturally, your body is ready, the baby is ready, everything is ready to come out, and you know, your body's just, I mean, as women, we're meant to do this. But when you're getting induced, the baby may not be ready yet, your body may not be ready yet, but the doctors and this drug that they're putting in you are forcing you to physically have this baby. So I would assume that maybe it does hurt more. I don't know, my experience would say, hell yeah. At first I was like, okay, well maybe I won't get the epidural. Maybe I will just try something else. What are my options? My nurse says, well, we can give you fentanyl, and it's a shot. It will last 4 hours, completely take all your pain away, and you know, life will be great. Okay, cool, I want to try that. I'm going to try everything that I can before I can get this epidural, before I decide to get the epidural. So she gives me the shot, and oh man, let me tell you, I felt like the 70s was me. I can only imagine. I've never been to the 70s. I just would imagine all the stories that I've been told, my grandma's smoking and whatnot. I would imagine that it felt something like that. Very, very great. Felt really, really great for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the shot wore off completely and I was in hard, hard labor. Okay, well, can I get another shot? And she said, no, we are only allowed to give you the shot every 4 hours. Okay, well then F this, I want the epidural. She says, okay, you know, you're gonna have to wait because there's only one anesthesiologist here and there's 4 girls in front of you. Okay, great, you know, I'll hold on to it, I'll bite it down, whatever. 4 hours pass and the anesthesiologist has not showed up to my room. I'm asking, okay, when is he gonna come? They're like, well, we don't know. You have to wait. There's other people in front of you. You're not the only person having a baby. Okay, well, since I'm waiting and it's been 4 hours, can I have another shot? No. Again. Apparently I needed to be in my right mind to sign some papers and whatnot because he was going to stick a giant needle in my back. So there I am for 4 hours. I already had the shot. I wasn't allowed to have any other kind of pain medication. Once I got my epidural, life was literally a box of chocolates. And that's typically the case when it comes to epidurals because obviously chocolates are damn good, but at the same time, you never know what you're going to get. With an epidural, a lot of things can go wrong. They can either be done perfectly. I believe that they vary from person to person. For me, at this time, mine was one-sided. So I could feel nothing on my right side and I was completely just alive and feeling everything on my left side. Worst, weirdest feeling ever, to be completely numb, not able to move my right leg, but completely okay to move my left. And trust me, I did not want to be feeling my left.
This is Monique when she's loaded on epidural. They're getting ready to pop her bag pretty soon. And no. And you can hear the baby.
Speaking of Lieutenant Dan, he had his last bits of food in the bag.
Oh, yeah, but it's
Like my mama
So I'm just gave him
talking.
some bits of treats, a little bit, you know, just a little bit, because that's all he had.
That big fat middle section is her contractions
Bag down there that I don't know about.
that she cannot feel because she is loaded.
Okay.
And that's the baby with his son in his heart. Aww.
So because I was induced, whether it hurt more or hurt less, the point is Pitocin hurts. Pitocin makes your contractions very, very strong and very, very fast. So what the epidural does is obviously it helps to block the pain from the lower portion of your body. And Pitocin and epidural are kind of like trying to mix oil and water. Like it just doesn't mesh well. This is the way that it works. The Pitocin helps to kickstart your labor, helps to make it progress, and the epidural tends to slow it down. So you're taking a shot of Pitocin, taking a shot of epidural, 2 more shots of Pitocin, 2 more shots of epidural. After a while, I am high to my ears. And I found out that Joshua was basically sunny side up, so his back was scraping against my back, and which made my labor very, very, very hard, very, very difficult, very, very long. After I got my epidural, I don't remember a lot. I know that at one point I had my aunt and 3 cousins show up. I had my mom's fiance show up. I just remember there being a lot of people in the room, and I was crying and I was uncomfortable, and I was just obviously in a lot of pain. I remember sleeping a lot, and then at one point it was just my mom in the room, or at one point it was just Michael in the room, and at one point it was just my grandma in the room. I don't quite remember when my dad left. I don't quite remember when everybody else left, but I just remember a lot of sleeping. So at this point, my nurse decided that she was going to break my water, and she was then going to check me, spread eagle, way open for everybody to see, check me to see how far dilated I was before that happened. Michael had gone down to the cafeteria. He said he was hungry, boo-hoo, poor him. So she opened me up to check me. She had her hand like in there and I just remember being like, oh my god, did I just pee on you? And she's like, nope. Just like splattered all over the floor. She's like, that was your water breaking. And Michael came back literally not even 30 seconds after that happened, and he was so mad because he missed that. And I'm like, you could have waited 2 more minutes for those freaking french fries, but no. Whatever. So it turns out I was dilated to 5. I had already been at 5 for a little while, and she was just like, okay, well, this is the end of my shift. You're gonna have somebody else come on and take care of you. I've got the best nurse coming in for you. She is the baby maker. She makes sure that everybody that's supposed to have a C-section, that does not happen. And I can tell you that that woman lived up to her name. At one point, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning, my doctor had come in and told me, you know, we're a little bit concerned because your water's broken, and you know, the longer that you have your baby in there with no water bag, you have like a high risk for infection. Yeah, so of course that's what the doctor's gonna tell you. They want you, you know, they want to be home for breakfast, so of course that's what the doctor's gonna tell you. They're gonna push for the C-section, and that's exactly what he did. He was like, you know, if you are not having your baby by 4:30, we're gonna prep the OR and you will be cut at 5. After that happened, they checked me again, and I was dilated to 8 centimeters. A few hours passed and I was stuck. It was maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was stuck at 8, and my nurse says, you know what, baby, this ain't happening. You are not going to be having any C-section today. She sat there and she stretched me, and I can tell you that it wasn't very comfortable because I could only feel it on one side, of course, but what I felt was not very comfortable. For those of you who maybe get fisted and whatnot, I do not know how you do it. Apparently it worked because at 4:30 I was dilated to 10. She told me, okay, now I need you to give it all you got. I know you're tired, but push. And so I did. I started pushing, and she got called away to do something else. So my darling husband got his fingers and went, okay, push. And Michael was playing the role of the nurse. He was making me push and push and push and push. And the nurse came in and was just like, what the hell are you doing? She got back down there, started making me push. She's like, okay, I can see his head. I can see his head. He's got a lot of hair. He looks like he's gonna be a cone head. Stop pushing. I need to go get the doctor. And I was like, what the hell? How can you tell me? I've got a baby coming out of my vagina. This opening is like the size of a grape, and I've got a watermelon coming out of it. You tell me to stop pushing? Hello? So the doctor comes in, and mind you, he's not my favorite person at this point. Over the course of the whole time that I was there, I think I had only seen him 3 times. He came in to sweep my membranes without me knowing. He came in to tell me, you're gonna have a C-section, and then he came in to pull my baby out of me. So he comes in, and he is walking at what can only be described as the part in Matrix where Neo's going like this, like that is how slow he walked in. He walked in, oh hold on, I need to get dressed, and I kid you not, he shook hands with every single person in the room. There were at least 20 people in the room, not including myself and my mom, my grandma, Michael, okay? He shook hands with every single person in the room very slowly. I kid you not, he probably took 5 minutes to actually get in and be like, okay, let's have a baby.
Can I please? This is my grandbaby. Hi, Joshua. Joshua. Oh, my god, he's so beautiful. Hi, baby. What's the matter, baby? Oh, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Look at it. He's perfect. He's perfect, little cone head. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh, yes. Look at them big lips. You're such a beautiful baby. Yes, you are. Hi, please. Look at it. Look at my cheeks. Yes, you've been waiting and waiting for you. Yes, we have, honey. Yes.
They wrapped him up and they handed him to me, and I just remember just instantly being like in love. Oh my god. He was the chunkiest, most like purple swollen baby I had ever seen. He was so swollen and he had the biggest cone head. Biggest cone head like ever, just like that. And he was so chunky, so swollen, so just fat with these little itty bitty chinky eyes.
You hear him? There you go. This is Monique's awesome nurse. Yes. To hold him, and she got to spank him. She was the first one to spank him. Look at him. He's like, Mama, a girl just touched my booty already. Look at, okay, we'll be lying. Oh, there's your baby. Look at, yes. Yeah. That's you. Yes. Okay, he's so quiet. Yeah, that's the one that was giving you all them peeps. Come on. Hey. Come on. What?
Okay, you guys, congratulations. Good job, honey.
Thank you so
You're
much.
good. Anything you need, let us know, okay, guys?
Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Ooh, look at, yes, you did so good, mamas. Yes.
After that, everything changed, you know. It wasn't about me anymore. It was about taking care of this baby. I had to teach myself how to breastfeed. I had to, you know, teach myself about, you know, all of these nutritions and bottles and wipe warmers and all this stuff that I really knew nothing about. And now I would like to say I'm a bit of an expert, a self-proclaimed expert, because when it came time to have Alyssa, I knew everything and anything that I could possibly know. So in reality, I was 5 minutes away from being rolled off to the OR. I was just about to get cut open, and I was very lucky to not have had a C-section at that point in time. It was a 22-hour process from the second they put the Pitocin into me to when I had him. Very long process, very long, just long night. I don't remember a lot of it, but what I do remember, I would never ever take back. Everything happened exactly the way that it needed to, and he gets on my nerves sometimes, but he is just perfection. Anyways, guys, that is my labor and delivery story for my son, Joshua. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know that it was a little bit different. I'm sorry that I'm not going to vlog today, but I will catch you guys up mañana, as always. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any comments or requests, want to talk, or you're scared about, you know, your labor and your pregnancy and whatnot, always feel free to message me, contact me, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I am always open and willing to listen to it. So I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue and enjoy my son's birthday, and I will see you guys mañana. Bye!